Wow, look at that, folks. It looks a little gloomy out there. You can see our camera shaking a little bit of wind today. We are nice and cozy in the kitchen with Carrie Eagle, the executive chef at Farm and Table, along with Rick Murphy from Soul Harvest Farm. So, tell us a little bit what we're making today, Carrie.
Well, we're going to make a spaghetti squash with our house marinara and finish it off with a little bit of arugula and basil.
Okay.
The squash, the arugula, the basil is all from Rick's farm.
Mm-hmm.
This week we just harvested it, and
Okay.
This is a really great healthy alternative to using a regular spaghetti.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people doing this. This has become a really in thing to do. So I'm excited that we're doing this today because I have no idea how to do it. So you're just scraping this out. Now, did you roast this beforehand?
That's right. This
Okay.
has been roasted at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, until it's fork tender all the way through. You don't want to overcook it. You wind up with something a little bit mushy if you do.
Okay.
So you want to be checking it the whole time you're roasting it in your oven. And when you run a fork through the squash, you see that it pulls up just like a spaghetti noodle would.
That's incredible. Okay, so you're putting it in there. So now, when you roast this, I'm sorry, Carrie. Remind me again. We're roasting it at what temperature and for how long?
350 degrees for about half an hour.
For about half an hour.
That's
okay.
right.
Okay, fantastic.
You want to rub the squash with a little salt and pepper, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and then put about a half an inch of water in your roasting pan.
Now, why do you do that?
It steams the squash and cooks
steams
it
the
more
squash.
evenly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So after this goes in, what's the next step?
Well, the next step is I went ahead and brought some of our house marinara. We make this from scratch every week at Farm and Table, especially this time of year. We have so many beautiful local heirloom tomatoes. Once they start to get overripe, again, you lay them out on a roasting pan. You roast those for 20, 30 minutes until they take on a little bit of a char. I like to run it through a ricer or a food mill to yield this pureed tomato texture that you see here. And then we finish it with some fresh pulled basil. There's also onion and fennel in that sauce as well.
Okay. Now, all these ingredients, Rick, are they coming from your farm?
Yeah, they're from
They are.
Soul Harvest.
So tell us about Soul Harvest.
So Soul Harvest is the on-site farm for Farm and Table Restaurant. So we are literally in their backyard. So
Okay.
it's a 2-acre farm. We harvest for the restaurant twice a week. So I can harvest it, wash it, pack it, bring it in, and work with Chef. I'm in the restaurant about 5 days a week, talking with her, and then we're talking about what's she going to want in the winter, and then we'll plan out stuff for spring. So it's a wonderful relationship we have with Farm and Table.
Okay, so now to get out to Farm and Table to dine with you, Carrie, want to make sure people can come out. I want to make sure that we get this correct. Wednesday through Saturdays for dinner, and then brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
From 9 to 2 on Saturday and Sunday, we host a brunch, and it's lovely on the patio. You can take a walk out to the back of Rick's farm. There's a nice sandbox set up behind the patio for kids as well.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
It's
great.
a very
Okay.
interactive environment. And then dinner from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Wednesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, and then of course, one also mentioned that you have got a farm stand. So, Rick, if people want to bring some of your harvest home with them, they can do so. Is that right? On
Yeah,
Sundays?
on Sundays from 10 to 2, we
Okay.
set up right on the patio of Farm and Table. So you can go and have a delicious brunch and then buy some produce on your way out.
Okay. Now, is this an opportunity? Because I'm not the best chef in the world. In fact, far from it. Is this an opportunity for us to come out and say, you know, I want to try something good like this squash, like using the squash spaghetti alternative? Do we have an opportunity to talk with you about some ways we can cook and prepare this?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're there to help educate folks, and not just sell it, but help
That's
educate them. This is what you do with it when you get home.
Yeah, it's a big part of our job. We also sell our produce at the downtown growers market, and so I am constantly asked, hey, how do I prepare this, or what is this? And I'm like, okay, here's how you do it, and you can also taste it on the menu at Farm and Table.
Okay. Now this, Carrie, I want to mention this cheese here. This, I usually would just go with a simple little Parmesan. What did we top this here with?
It is a Parmesan.
It is.
It's an aged Parmesan called Grana Padano.
Grana Padano.
So it's got a little
Is
more...
it from the Willy Wonka factory?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It has a little more depth of flavor, a little more age on it than your
Okay.
typical Parmesan.
Okay.
And I think it's a really nice finish and complement to the sweetness of the tomato sauce. So what I've done is on top of this spaghetti squash, it's been sauteed down in equal parts of olive oil and butter, seasoned it up with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then I sprinkle these beautiful fresh greens from Rick's farm on top of the hot spaghetti squash, and then the hot marinara on top of the greens, and what happens is the greens wilt, so you get a nice texture in your mouth when
So in
you're
this
taking
case,
a
we
bite of
want the
everything.
greens to wilt a little bit.
Yeah, you
That's
want the
what we're
greens
looking
to
for.
wilt from the
Okay.
heat of the sauce and the heat of the squash just slightly.
Okay.
And then shaved some grana padano over the top, and you have a nice composed bite of a vegetarian pasta that's super healthy and
That's fantastic.
organic and local.
Well, so you're starting the morning here with us here on Two Casa Style. You got a late night ahead of you, Carrie. Is that right? Because you're doing
That's
the 505
correct.
food fights.
505 Food Fight is this evening, yes.
Okay. So for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about it, and then we're going to talk about where the proceeds are going to benefit because I think it's something very important. So for those that have never been, what is the 505 food fight?
The 505 Food Fight is a local tournament that's 12 different chefs are competing in a round of 6 bouts. So there's first round if you advance and win, you go to the second round if you advance and win, then there's 3 chefs at the very end of it who will battle out to see who's the top dog, I guess, out of that pool of chefs.
There you go.
Each bout is, all the proceeds go to a local charity, and our local charity tonight is a memorial fund for Officer Daniel Webster.
That's fantastic. That's great. All right, so obviously, guys, you got a lot to do today. You can head over to Farm and Table this weekend, get some fresh produce, learn how to make a great dinner. Head over tonight to 505 Food Fight, support the memorial service for Daniel Webster. We're going to dive into this when we come back, guys. Stay with us.